Welcome, dear viewers, to Diabetes Hope channel, the channel where we educate you, motivate you, and encourage you to control your diabetes and probably reverse it. This is the place where you find hope. I am your co-host, Nyambura Madenge, and our host is
Wanjiko Dongo.
Welcome, Wanjiko Dongo.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
And thank you, our viewers, for joining us yet again.
True.
Yes.
So, Molimu, what do you have for us today?
Today, dear viewers, I want us to talk about how we can maintain our sugars low, even as we attend various celebrations. Without making it so obvious that we are trying to avoid food.
Is that possible? Really?
Yes, absolutely. And this is where we want to do these episodes so that our viewers can know the strategies they can use in order to be able to do this. The reason why it is important to think about this is because we are a society that is cultured to eat.
True.
And every time we visit, there has to be food.
Yes, definitely.
Now, when we visit each other, food is part and parcel of that particular visit.
True.
For example, when I visit a friend, they have to give you food.
Yes.
And if you say you're not eating, they get very uncomfortable.
And offended too.
Exactly.
Yes.
And this happens from homes, from hotels, and even in churches.
Yes.
There's a lot of food in our church.
Yes. Yes.
And people respond very well.
Yes.
When the prayer is a prayer breakfast. Because it will not just be about prayer, but it's also about eating.
True.
So really, we are socialized to appreciate food.
Yes.
And food is always around us.
Yes.
Someone once said that we have formed a culture of people dying to eat. Let me tell you, Sarah, at first, I felt that he had judged us very, very harshly. But the more I think about it, the more I believe it is true. Food is good.
Yes, it is.
Food excites us.
Completely.
Food makes us happy.
Yes.
Food helps us to celebrate occasions.
Yes, it does. And if anyone called you for a function and there was no food, that's the thing they will remember for the rest of their lives.
For the rest of their lives, they will say, we were there, we did a lot of dancing, but there was no food.
And a wedding is considered to be a very successful one.
Yes.
When we have eaten and we are full.
Exactly.
Yes.
So really, even as diabetics, we are going to find food everywhere.
True.
And we have to ask ourselves, what will we do?
Yeah.
So that we are able to join in the celebrations while we are still keeping our sugars very, very low.
Yes.
You see, Sarah, even for us, maybe this is something our viewers do not know. When we meet together, we always have to eat something.
Yes, before we do the video shoot, we have to.
We have to eat something.
Yes.
The video becomes more interesting.
True.
So really, even as diabetics, there is no way we are going to avoid these celebrations.
Yes.
But what we need to know is, how do we go about it so that we can celebrate with the rest of our friends without feeling deprived, and our friends not feeling like we have offended them because we have not partaken of their food as they would like us to do.
Yes.
So Sarah, today I want us to discuss 5 strategies that every one of us can use during this moment of merrymaking so that we do not compromise our health. Yes.
So we are waiting to hear the 5 strategies.
Now, strategy number 1 is to ensure that when we go to the place of merrymaking, that the first thing we take is water.
Water only? And in the place of merrymaking, you find there is soft drinks, there are juices, there are all kinds of drinks.
Exactly. But what we want to do is that the first thing we are going to ask for is to be served water.
Okay.
In almost all places, there will be drinks served.
Yes.
And the drinks that are going to be served are going to be of various types.
True.
Some people will serve tea.
Yes.
Others will serve fruit juices. Others are going to serve sodas.
Yes.
Others are going to serve porridge. And almost all these may not be good for us.
Okay.
So what we do, the first thing once we arrive is request for water before the drinks are served.
Okay.
Ensure you take a lot of water and ensure that your stomach is actually feeling full. Okay. Because you have taken the water.
A lot of water.
Yes.
Okay.
So what this means is that even when you see the people passing the sodas around, there will be no craving because your body is not thirsty.
Okay.
And at the same time, when people ask you to take other things, just let them know you love drinking water.
Okay.
And you see, by doing this, you will not take any calories in the drinks.
Okay.
You will not take sugary things in the drink.
Yeah.
And this gives you a better chance to sample the food that is there without feeling guilty.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
So that becomes the first strategy.
Okay.
Now, strategy number 2.
Okay.
Always ensure you serve yourself the food.
Don't let the host serve you.
Don't agree the host to serve you. And do you know why I am saying this? Especially in Africa, hosts, many times, they want to serve their guests.
Yes.
And what they are likely to do is that they will go for the biggest plate.
Yes, so that they can put everything at the table.
Exactly. And they want to fill that plate
yes.
with a lot of food. And by doing this, they feel that they are honoring their guests.
True.
Now, once that food is put right in front of you,
it's very hard to say,
it's hard to say no.
Yeah.
It is when you tell the host, let me remove a bit of the food, it's a bit too much. The host, your order, when you ate before you came.
Yeah, or doesn't the food look appetizing?
Exactly. Doesn't it look nice?
True.
And the host may feel offended.
Yeah.
So for this reason, always try and find a way of ensuring it is you that serves the food. Okay. And most of the time, really, when I visit, I will simply try and crack a joke with the host and ask them, kindly, can you let me serve myself? Okay. If you serve me, you might give me chakula kidogo sana.
Mwalimu. Mwalimu says that chakula kidogo means you will put for me very little food. Knowing the way you eat.
But you know, the host doesn't know. So the host, you actually most of the times laugh and allow me to serve myself. Okay. And in so doing, then I can be able to put the food that I know I can finish. True. I'll be able to sample the food that has very little sugars. True. And I'll be comfortable. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Our dear viewers, let's move on to strategy number 3. Okay. And this is where you need to have an idea of all the food that is on offer before you start serving. You see, in Africa, sometimes we may place before you very many dishes. Yes. And you may not be aware what is in every dish. True. So it is important that if possible, you look through or you walk through and see all the dishes. So that in your mind, you can do a mental sum of what you're going to take and what you're going to leave. Because you may realize that after you have started and you are halfway through, you already have enough of the food you should eat. Yes. But there's still something you're desiring that is still there.
Like most people put the meat at the end. I don't know why. All all the meats are always at the end. They start with the rice and the chapati and I'm thinking.
And the cabbages.
Yes.
Now, you see, you may just have filled your,
your plate
with cabbages.
Yes, and then you go and find the meat. It's at the corner.
And not just one type.
I know.
There could be chicken, there could be lamb.
And your plate is already full.
And your plate is already full.
Yeah.
And therefore, it's very important that you sample the food in order to know what to pick and what to leave. It's always advisable that you pick less.
Yes.
So that even if you wanted to pick something later, you will still have space for it.
Okay.
Rather than you pick more, remember you can't return. You want to finish what you have already put in your plate.
True.
Because I can tell you for a fact, it is not kind for you to put food in your plate and then not finish it.
Yeah, it is
your
not.
host will not be very happy with you. That is called wastage in Africa.
I don't think it's only in Africa, it's everywhere.
Yes.
But Molimo, I've noticed most of the food that is usually in front is high carbs.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Because I think because we are a society that eats a lot of high carbs. Especially from our community.
Okay.
Food is the high carb. These are the things, they are fairy snacks. And also, Sarah, remember, even if you are diabetic, your host may not understand what a diabetic is supposed to eat.
True.
So please don't go taking a lot of meat. The host may not judge you kindly.
True.
They will just wonder, why are you taking all the meat? What do you imagine what the others are going to eat?
True.
So for this reason, I always advise, just pick a lot of vegetables. Okay. People in Africa don't care about vegetables. Yes. And especially if the vegetables are raw. Yes. Sometimes nobody even wants to see them. And so for us, that is where you can just celebrate, fill in your plate, without anybody even noticing that you have filled your plate with raw vegetables. But some of them will be sympathizing with you. That way, you're able to fill your plate without compromising on your sugars and your host not feeling that you didn't eat. True. Yes. Okay. Now, Sarah, strategy number 4. Okay. This one, I have always found it to work. Okay. Choose your plate wisely. Okay. How? In what way? Now, most of the places, plates will be put before you. Yes. Some will be big, others will be small.
But you pick the big one so that it can be enough to put everything.
One thing I can tell you for a fact, if you pick a big plate, it could run you into trouble with your host. You know what happens? If you pick a big plate, you're bound to feel it. Yes. Psychologically, you also feel like you have carried food to the table when the plate looks very full. And your host, remember, is also monitoring his guests. Okay. So they may see that you have a plate that is half full. And they'll start to wonder, why is it that you're not picking enough food? Is it that you don't like the food? So they may feel like there is something about their food that you don't like. And this is not the image that you want to portray. So the best option is for you to pick a small plate. Okay. And you see, once you pick a small plate, then it becomes very, very easy to fill the small plate with just a little food. Yes. What the host is just likely to do is to look and see that the plate is full. Oh. They may not realize that actually it is your plate that is small. And that way they will be satisfied and they will know that you actually ate a full plate of food. At the same time, even for you, psychologically, and I have seen this even for me, if I use a small plate to serve, I most likely eat less food.
Okay.
Because psychologically, we just put a plate food and you feel it. Okay. So if it's a small plate, you just fill it with a little food. When you sit and you eat, somehow your mind tells you have eaten a full plate, you are okay. But if the plate was big,
and then you put a little, you'll feel like you're not full because your plate was half.
Exactly. You start feeling like I didn't put enough, and therefore you want to sample more, which is usually not very recommended. Okay. So the smaller the plate, the rest the food you are likely to eat. Okay. And psychologically, you will feel it is okay. Okay. Your host will see you have filled your plate, and at the end of the day, you've just eaten enough and not too much. Okay. Yes.
Good. So, number 4 is choose your plate wisely.
Very wisely. The smaller, the better.
Good.
Now, strategy number 5, Sarah, is always very important. Because anytime we attend celebrations, festivals, we may try all the above strategies. Yes. But still, we may feel like we have written a little more. Like, I've gone to places where food is served, and you imagine that is all there was to eat. And when everybody has eaten and they are full, you see some guys coming with nyama shoma.
And you had already filled your plate.
Exactly. And you wonder, surely, why do they have to hide it until the last minute? And therefore you may feel, hey, even if I was full, this one, I have to eat. I have to eat. Which is okay. Okay. Now, if this happens, then you have another option. You have another strategy that you can use.
Which is?
And this is what we've always discussed. You can simply use the tool of fasting. Okay. So that you give your body enough time to clear all that food that you have eaten, or the excess food that you have eaten. For example, when you get home, you may decide, no, I'm not going to eat any more food. Okay. I have eaten late afternoon. I've eaten a little more food. So you can just maybe take a glass of water and sleep. Or you just take a cup of tea and sleep. And that way, because you do not add more food, then the sugars are going to come down. And if you feel like you had actually really overindulged, you can even decide the following day that when you wake up, you will not take breakfast, you will not take lunch, maybe just go to supper. So that way you will have fasted for a whole 24 hours. True. And I'm sure by the time you go through the 24 hours, the sugars that you had taken will already have been taken up by the body, and your metabolism or your body will not be compromised with high sugars.
Yeah, with all the food that you ate on the day before.
Exactly. Okay. We now have known, because we've done a lot of experiments, that once we fast, the sugars come down. True. The longer the fasting, the more the sugars have come down. True. So the more you have indulged, the more hours you should increase to the fasting, so that those sugars will come down. Okay. And then you will be comfortable. You will not feel guilty about what you have done. Okay. Yes. Okay. And so, Sarah, I believe that by adhering to these 5 strategies, any person, whether diabetic or not, they can socialize with family, they can socialize with friends, without feeling that these social gatherings negatively affect them. Okay. At the same time, their friends and family will not be looking at them as very weird people. Yes. That when we call them for food, she doesn't want to come. Yes. Or she doesn't want to eat.
Or she eats very little.
Or she eats very little. So you can disguise this. Yes. You can still socialize. You can still make merry. True. And at the same time, take care of your health.
Wow.
Yes.
Good. Those are really good strategies.
I believe so. And I believe that our viewers will take them keenly.
True.
And for me, dear viewers, I think that's enough for today. I think it is okay if I say goodbye until next time.
Good.
Yes.
Dear viewers, we hope that the above tips will be helpful even as you interact with your family and friends and make merry. So thank you very much for your continued support. Thank you for all the subscribers, all the people who are recommending to their friends and they are sharing these videos. Thank you very much. We highly appreciate it, and we hope the lessons that have been given here have been of help to each one of you. Thank you very much, and from us it's goodbye and God bless you. Bye.